Hello. Welcome back to the Random Vet. Oh. I'm so glad that this is here. So glad that this is here. Um, welcome back to the Random Fandom. I'm your host, RavenWood, and welcome back to another live stream of the Artificer. And I'm live, yay, hold on. I'm really uncertain about this whole lighting in this room because I cannot see. But however, I fixed a lot of the space around here, and I need to get some water real quick. In the meantime, you got all these other characters that right here are going to be the co-hosts. So let me check to see if everything's working. Yeah, everything's working by the looks of it. So yeah, today we'll be reading the Artificer. Oh, hello, Kate. Kate Morning. Give me a moment, Kate Morning, and everyone else that might be in chat. But it's been a while since I produced any content for this channel. I'll be right back. I need to get some water real quick, but something to drink. Something. Yeah. I do not have water, but I do have a Capri Sun. Hold on. Okay, so I got the book. I got a Capri Sun. I got myself some pudding because I can get hungry during this time. And let's see. Do I have everything that's here? Let's see. You're here. Check. All right. Okay. Give me one more minute. I'll be right back for just another second. Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Random Fandom. I'm your host, RavenWood, and I had to fix some things off screen. Okay, I had to get something fixed real quick, get something done. As you can tell, I have a haircut. Yay! and yeah, yeah, the haircut, the hair's a lot shorter. It's a lot curlier. Not that haircuts can do that per se. Um, and yeah, okay, so I got a haircut like I said I would. Yeah, thank you. It looks nice. Well, yeah, I'm glad you said that. Um, it could look better a little bit. But I'm hoping it will grow when I grow it back out a little bit, not all the way like the last time when it was like right, and then just a mess and everywhere it got. Um, there needs to be some reshaping around here and everywhere, and it's just a mess. It's kind of a mess here at the sides, but um. So yeah, I'll be reading the Artificer today, and I'll try to get as much as I can get done. And I do want to explain a few and about the random fandom and whatnot and all that other stuff. But and I'm a little bit early today. Usually I'm like around 10. I'm usually like around 10 o'clock or sometimes 11 o'clock. But here I made it around 8:08. Okay, 8 minutes in, and already kind of just doing poorly. I want to say doing poorly, but I'm just kind of here. So I'm gonna take a bit little. My mom made some pudding. It's a nice pudding. Yeah. Okay, so the last time y'all saw me, some of y'all probably nobody saw me, or in numbers wise, nobody saw me. But if you have watched the last live stream that I did, the last piece of content was about Poppy Playtime, and it was some thoughts that I had. One of the reasons why I kind of dipped out was because of dipped out of YouTube was because of embarrassment of last stream. But I'll get into that here in a moment. There are other reasons, but one of the reasons was because of embarrassment of the last stream. But usually that takes me like 1 day, 2 days to recover from embarrassment. Now I'm like, oh no, live stream bad, right? But it did work out as I thought it would work. Naturally, the mechanics that are here, that are presented here, would work, but they didn't work. And well, the idea was that I was trying to screen share and rewatch some clips on YouTube, right? Didn't work out. I don't know what happened or what went wrong, because I had done this I have done this once, and it was successful. I guess that I have used a different method or something, or a different way of doing it. Maybe I used a different app or something. But regardless, that had worked, or at least that method had worked, sort of. Oh no, I had recorded it as a video, but not live. Okay, but the thing is, I don't know how to fix it for live. That's something else. I think the limited time thing, probably. I wouldn't know how that would work. How would I time myself screen sharing something on YouTube? Because like maybe I don't know how the screen share thing works on YouTube. Maybe I have to have a specific device to do that. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not 100% certain. So correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know how that would work. If you do, please say something. But like, and anyways, getting back to the problem, the last I still announced what I wanted to say in that stream. It wasn't like a theory or anything. Well, it was just like a key of evidence, or a key of not evidence, but like it was something that I took note, and I'm like, wait, this doesn't make sense. Everyone else that's theorizing on like YouTube was like, oh, this is there. They're speaking to you and whatnot. And I'm like, no, that doesn't seem logically sound or whatever, and blah blah blah. And so like, and just there's some things that don't line up with that hypothesis or whatever, or that that key factor or whatever. Not key factor, but like that detail. Sorry, I almost forgot the word. Detail. The detail of that like didn't match up, and I was trying to make sense of it by rewatching the clips onto YouTube, and so it just did not. For some reason, like it would show for like a minute, or at least I think it kind of worked for maybe a minute. I need to rewatch. I don't rewatch my videos. I need to rewatch the video. I need to rewatch that. But I don't. I'm like Johnny Depp. I don't watch my own movies that I make. No, but anyways, I don't rewatch it because like for some reason I'm self-conscious of like, oh, you rewatch your own content? That's cringe, right? You can't rely on your own audience. Cringe, right? Or something like that. And so I'm like, I mean, yeah, it is whatever, but like, and so what I do is I delete you know how you like go to watch history and remove it. I don't know if that counts as removing a view or not, but anyways. Or if that's how, or if you can remove views by doing that. But anyways, back to the main point. I was trying to screen share, but like when I think I did at one point rewatched it myself, but I didn't rewatch it all the way through. I skimmed it. And so from what I can see from there, it's just a pure black screen. So it didn't make any sense. Like, is what I watched, because this is not what I did. This is the complete opposite. I did this. You're showing me that. So whatever. What happens, what happens. And so had happened in not in the right way. Oh well. It is what it is. So, gate morning, you might be right. It might be a limited time thing for some reason. So that's the first part of like one of the reasons why I kind of dipped out of making content for my channel, right? For July and June, I missed out 2 months of content. Oh wow. Or it's not really that much content. We were also planning, me and my brother Dominic, we were planning to do another live stream, but for some reason we were just too tired. So, yeah, another reason, like this is everything, tiredness, lack of sleep for some reason. I don't know why. for some reason recently, sleep has just been non-existent, and I've been taking naps in the afternoon. And I'm like, how is this possible? Until here recently, there's like been like problems with like my bed, the pillows. Oh my gosh, it's horrible. And then when you also have to take into consideration of like summertime have a much longer daylight, right? Much longer daytime and whatnot, and nighttime is much shorter and whatnot. So I guess it could be a part of the factor. I guess maybe like a time, like we're 2 months in and we're still not used to the whole like shift of time. And I just realized something. Time travel would be difficult. Also have to figure out not just the time zones and time of day and whatnot. But if you don't know when a specific thing is supposed to happen or a specific date or whatever, a person is supposed to wake up in a certain point of day or whatever, like how would you also put into like the consideration of daylight savings time and daylight spending time? Would you also put that into consideration with time travel? I'm not certain how that works. Or it's just like, oh, okay, of this time that is given by data, right? Right? That's how that works, right? Anyways, I don't know. Okay, so there's that. And generally, I just needed a break. Granted, I didn't need like a basically almost 2 month break. I technically just needed just 1 month break from my channel. But however, I also like took that break because I also wanted to produce content for my other channel, the RavenWood channel. But it was just only for like me, not for like, well, I mean, other people could watch it. I've been getting like 200 views on just niche little fake Grand Order video. I'm just like, these aren't special. These are for me to do to pass the time, I guess. Kind of like get like the hang of things, I guess. It was kind of, well, YouTube is a hobby, but for YouTube, for like the hobby for a little hobby would be just doing. That's weird. I don't understand that. You don't have this. You don't have access to this feature, even though the feature that we give to you. It's bull. 2 views, 1 concurrent viewer. Okay, thank you, concurrent viewers. Without you, I would probably be dead. So there's that problem, right? There's the problem of like, I just want, not the problem, but it's just like, I just want to take a break from this channel and do something on a smaller channel, right? And the other thing I also wanted to talk about is something I'm just now noticing. This is a bit of distraction for me. So that I'm just now noticed, the yellow shells here are not level with the white shells, and it's probably because the shelf itself is not level with the floor, and it's supposed to be. I'm looking at the background here, and it's like, man, that's not level. that's good. It doesn't hurt me. It's a little distracting. I could fix it later. I could fix it later. I could, not now. It's a bit of a distraction. Anyways, it's just, there's also the fact that my, There's also like a small little factor, like, well, I would say small little factor is kind of a huge factor. It's not preventing me. Probably a little. Oh, excuse me. It's probably preventing me a little bit emotionally because I'm just not emotionally motivated to make or produce content for this channel. Whether it be on the shelf, the RavenWood Reads, or a live stream for the channel itself, the main live stream that we actually wanted to do, where with just the both of us, right? And Dominic has not he has not returned to continue doing the Lego project that he said he would complete. Did not do that. He did not return to do that. But that's another thing. But anyways, emotionally constantly sick with something else, right? So like he has autonomic failure. I'm not certain if I'm pronouncing that correctly. No, I'm not gonna type it in the chat because I don't want to. Autonomic failure or something like that, and he fell on like his backbone, I guess. And I forgot what that specific backbone was called, but he fell on it twice, bruising it. I think he bruised it, fractured it. I'm not certain. Regardless, he's been struggling to walk. He can't walk. He's constantly dizzy. And so we've been having nurses coming over to feed him. He's basically a baby in bed, and it's depressing to think about it. A guy who I looked up to as a father figure, not a grandfather figure, as a father figure, because I had my biological father is not in the picture at all. Now that he's dead, he was just abusive to my mother. And he neglected me. Oh, he didn't neglect in Dominic. So he was the golden child there. Even though I have blonde hair. You would think the guy with blonde hair would be the golden child. No. Yeah, he had his own reasons for that. Not that those reasons were logical or moral. Where and my stepdad, he was both physical and emotionally abusive, but it took us forever to figure that out. Or it took us forever to not just accept it, or but not accept it, but understand it, right? Understand that, oh, hey, no, he's a problem. We should probably leave. Well, see, the physical abuse was less. The physical abuse was subtle because, it was. It was normalized by society of belt to the butt, get spanked, right? Or whatever, or switch or whatever. That kind of sort of physical abuse is normalized in society. But however, what we didn't know and what we're also learning now is that emotional abuse is a thing, and took us a while to understand that, oh, these are tactics that abusers can utilize. They can abuse your emotions, not just emotions, but I would say emotional abuse, but he used logic and reasoning and our own faith, Christianity. Not you don't know, but I'm telling you, against us in a way. So you utilize that. However, despite two terrible people in our family, or were in our family, my grandfather, G. Has always been, even when we were angry at him or whenever he was angry at us, right? He's always been in my eyes, right? Not certain about any of my other brothers, but I can speak for myself. But in my eyes, he was like my father figure, because even despite him being like, oh, my grandfather, right? And so, like, when you think about labels, right? When we label ourselves to like this and that, and like, you don't have to just define yourself as just what you are, just because, like if you think about like Uncle Crow and Ty, right? They're like, they don't have wives, but they've been the father figures of Ruby and Ye. As much as the story is not great, it's bad, right? They're basically the father figures, right? Ty, for one, is a father figure, right? To both of them, obviously, biologically, sense and reasoning, right? So Ty is like a father figure to both of them, right? And Crow, despite being an uncle, right? You can make the argument that he is also a father figure to both Yang and Ruby, because he's been there with them for most of their lives, and currently in the show, current setting, he's the father figure, right? And so when I opened my eyes to that line of thinking over the years, right? He is basically my father figure. He's not married. That would be weird. I'm just he's not married to my mother or anything like that. But like, if you sometimes, like, definitions define things like, this is a spoon and this is pudding, right? Very good pudding, right? But sometimes definitions for certain things, like being a father or whatever, is really important, because you, like, while yes, biologically speaking, yeah, no, he's not a father. No, he's not married, or marriage laws, right? No, he's not a father. But like, love, family love, right, and whatnot, and like thought process and whatnot. I know this is a huge tangent, but like, he's my father figure, right? And so he's constantly having to go to the hospital because of pneumonia. I can't pronounce words. And whatever. But here recently, he's in the hospital because of pneumonia. So there's that. So, like, to continue my production. Give me a moment. I'm just making sure everything's live. Okay, good. All right. To continue my YouTube channel is kind of a mental weight, I guess. And so, like, I guess I didn't realize that when he first went to the hospital last year. I didn't take a great break last year, when he first went to the hospital and whatnot, because like, it didn't impact me at all. It was just necessary that he went to the hospital for these sort of things, right? Okay, he went to the hospital. He's gonna be fine. But like he's been going back and forth, being treated by nurses, right? Constantly and recently, like not just yeah. he's going to the hospital. He's been staying here and being treated by nurses that we have to pay by, right? We have to pay a whole lot of nurses to stay here with us and to help him because we can't. We can't help him constantly. He's a grown man he's a grown old man who has to be treated like a baby. He does not like this position. I don't like this position. Everyone else in this house, and I will speak for everyone else in this house, they do not like that he is being treated like a baby. We do not need him to be in a situation where we have to basically parent him. Now he could still speak fluid language, fluid English, and he could still think right. You know, he could still do all sort of normal things, but like he's basically having to walk again. He could still feed himself, but one of his hands is weaker now. It's a lot of stress around, especially for my grandmother who has to map this all out with everyone's schedule. Okay, so like the nurses, this nurse comes here, this nurse will be here on this day, this hour, and all that stuff, right? So all what everyone else in the house can do is just hope and pray and help out the nurses. If the nurse needs to help, it needs one of us to hoist GJ up onto the bed, and then fine, we are here to do that. So it's just been stressful in a way, not in a way. It's just been stressful in just multiple areas here recently. So that's also into play. I know this is probably boring, or whatever, and this is not the Artificer. This is my own personal problems, my own personal issues, right? And so I just kind of need like a mental, emotional break from both. Well, not from both of my channels. From this channel here, because I can multitask. I can do both channels. It's just that I just needed a break from the channel that has the most content that not just the most content, but the content that I put all of my work into, I guess, or as much as work as possible into it. This one is the one that is my golden child. There, I said it. It's my golden child. The other YouTube channel is just, it's just still a baby. It's still, so yeah, there's that, and the final thing to top that all off is that I want to do something else with this channel, right? Not all the things. I will say that now. I don't want to do like change everything that I do about this channel, get rid of everything, wipe it completely. No, I still want to read the Artificer. I still want to do. I do want to what I do want to say, what I can't say for now. I want to change the Yu-Gi-Oh playlist, the Ravenwood's Yu-Gi-Oh rally, to just the random fandom Yu-Gi-Oh, or whatever you want to call it, or not whatever not wherever you want to go, whatever I want to go. So I want to change it to like to something else that's because like now it's becoming more of like both of our things. And initially, I was hoping that Dominic would finally create his own channel, right? And then he would put his Yu-Gi-Oh stuff in there, and then we'll just probably just have him to download the videos from this channel, delete them, and then move them over to there. Take entire Bikini Bottom and move it to someone else, right? But then I wanted to produce more content, right? And he also wanted to produce more content on the Yu-Gi-Oh thing. And so it's like, it's either we do that where we move his content over there, or just make it one separate thing altogether. And if he does make his own channel, right, and then has Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, we'll just keep the videos here, right? We'll keep the little gaming bits. That's something I do want to do. We'll keep the gaming bits because even though there's not much, we're not doing well. Gaming bits is like a little. It's not a mini series. It's a little pocket of like videos for like gaming that we didn't want to like. If we ever do live streams of actual gameplay, right? Not just little clips of like, oh, this moment's funny, right? That's what gaming bits is for, is little clips of like moments that were captured, that we took it, or that we managed to capture, right? And just post it on there, right? And some of the moments are like replicate, where we managed to replicate. And it's like, oh, no, that's cool. This bug in this game can be replicated several times, or or something that was funny and to take advantage of. Like, well, yeah, this is something that you can do, right? So we're keeping the gaming bits, but the on the shelf is what's going to be destroyed. We're destroying it. Okay. So I was doing while I was producing the second part to Astro Train, right? While I was producing the second part to Astro Train, let me scoot over towards the middle. There we go. While I was producing the second part to the Astro Train video, I had a thought. I was like, I don't like the on the shelf anymore. I like it. I like saying, welcome back to On the Shelf with RavenWood, your host. Here's Astro Train, or here's a Ruby. I was like, I'm only just doing those two IPs. I'm only doing those two collections. And so that's something that popped into my head. I was like, wait a second. I could call this something else. I could do a whole lot of other playlists and then call it something else. And that's when it hit me. Okay. I realized that I could have two separate playlists, one dedicated to the Ruby board game, but then end it there once I'm done like going through the Ruby board game stuff, right? Just end it there, right? And if I ever play it, I play it. Okay, whatever. I might do the Ruby board game live stream. I just need to find like someone to play somehow to do it, I guess. With like we have, I'm not certain, like it's a it can be from from the instructions on the side of the box, I do not know where the box is at the moment. It looks like it's like a 2-player game. You can potentially play it as a 2-player game. But like, I want a third person, or maybe a fourth person. Four people to play this game. So I'm like, I kind of want to do it with like a group of people, right? Whether they're friends or not. That would be helpful. I want to do it, right? Not certain how. People trust. Okay, I don't know. I have no friends. Well, I have friends, but like they're not like within like the neighborhood, or they're not close by or whatever. But anyways, so I was like, so there's also like the Transformers stuff. Like, okay, I'm going to do like another I want to put that in a separate playlist, and so I want to call them the collections. Just call them collections. Random Phantom, Ruby collection. So see, that's just it. The board. If I do get more collection, Ruby collectible stuff or whatever, that would go under the Ruby playlist. Ruby on the Ruby collections. It's just that the first thing would be Ruby board game, right? But it wouldn't be called Ruby board game collection. It'd be just called Ruby collection. So, and then you have the Transformers, which would just have basically all of them in there. I still want to do This Means a War because I love doing that. As far as like the Halo collection, I will give it a separate playlist as well, but like I need to make more content for that, and I don't have like more Halo collectible stuff at the moment, just because like it's not easy to get for some reason. I'm like, I don't know why. They're not that. Halo's surely not that popular. Come on. But yeah, there's that. Okay. So took a break. That's why. I had a whole lot of thinking to do. There was a lot of emotional roller coaster stuff. Not that I was crying or I was like in my bed, like eating ice cream or anything like that. I would like to see someone draw my character, my character RavenWood. That'd be awesome. I need to get an artist. Oh, well, I could draw it myself. How about that? Yeah. I might. I'll see what I could do. That would be amazing. Anyways, so it's just that I just wasn't like emotionally invested because of the things that was happening, and also it's just a whole lot of stress, and I just needed to just take a moment. Don't do something that will just explode or whatever. The pudding is explosive. It's not spicy. It's really good. My mom did a really great job on it. God grew the bananas, and she put the ingredients in together and made it pudding. Okay, so let's get into reading. Now we I've I've actually been waiting to do this. I've been wanting to do this, to get back to the book for the longest time, but getting back here, getting everything started and getting things done, right? And actually wanting, no, not just wanting to do this, but actually getting this ready, wanting to get this ready and everything else, right? Has not, it is like a tug of war, right? You you have the book, and my motivation. I don't have anything to resemble my motivation. Ah, speaking of Astral Train, here's his little hand. My motivation. It's just tugging me back and forth, right, left and way, right. My motivation to do things and get things done, and but also wanting to do things like, oh, do I want to like do Astral Train Part 3 where I transform him into his other mode, like he's. Or do I want to do a live stream about like Jurassic Park with Indominic Rex, right? Not the Indominic Rex, Indominic Rex, my brother. Anyways, or I missed this. I missed this, Dem. Now let's get into it. Hello, Kick Morning. Hello, anyone else who has joined. Who else is here? Anyone else is here? Studio dashboard. Okay, so there's 5 views, 1 concurrent viewer. Let me see if. Let me double check. No? Okay. Well, whatever. Doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter for me personally, but not to you. What matters is that I get back to reading because I am ready for this. I am ready for this. I need this. This is for me, not for promoting Raymond. I'm not doing this for him. Promoting Raymond can come second. This is for me. Oh, okay. Let's continue from here. The guild cannot stand for that. Your work has cut into vital profits by stealing several bank contracts. Your growth is so fast, there are concerns that a loud shattering sound caught their attention, followed by screaming. Ah! Oh, what now? Kraft growled, hitting the pedal under his counter to unseal the deadbolt to the door. Stomping across the room, he poked his head out the front door. Almost immediately, he had to duck back in to avoid a stream of sticky pink acid. Oh, Kirby. Pink acid. Pink acid from splattering him in the face. Actually, hold on. I'm going to have to do the Celtic Phoenix, the Raymond McNeil voice. Christ on the handbasket! He shouted. Or at least that's how I hear it. If for some reason Raymond McNeil or Celtic, aka Celtic Phoenix, his go-to to like, for some reason his like his go-to like I want to say catchphrase. Yeah, catchphrase, I guess. Is Jinkers, Wheelikers, Zoinks, Jinkies, or whatever, right? Is Christ in a handbasket. He just says that. I'm visualizing Christ in a basket full of hands for some reason. He shouted, yanking the door shut. A moment later, a bestial black shadow slammed against the door. dark violet scales glistening through the slotted glass window. Inquisitive, the beast pulled back from the door and eyed the barrier carefully before snapping its jaws around the handle and tugging with a vengeance. Wood crackling against the frame. Kraft pulled against it with his meager strength, the muscles in his arms straining. Why, oh, why did he let Tenrith talk him into the easy to enter two-way door idea? Tarrant, whatever. Tarrant. That's how you pronounce it. Tarrant. You immediately break into whatever accent I'm trying to go into to pronounce their names. Tarrant. Rhine! Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to shout that loud. Rhine! He shouted behind him. Behind the counter, there's a pedal on the floor. Hit it! The girl floundered for a second. She just becomes like a fish. Floundered. Sorry. Floundered for a second, staring with horror at the wyvern. Then, finding her footing, she scrambled around back and hit the pedal, locking the door in place completely. Kraft stumbled back, palms rubbed raw, and the early prickles of sweat were beading on his brow. The black wyvern looked different. No, injured would be more accurate, and healed even more so. Scars littered its body, welts textured the winged membrane from tip to shoulder, and the tail was... This was one of the wyverns that Kraft and Nerf had encountered between Basal and Alamara, the very same wyverns he'd blown up. And now one of them was scrambling at the door to his shop and chipping the window with its pointed snout. But that was months ago! Were they really smart? Were they really smart, petty enough to heal up and track them? Running to the counter, he reached beneath it, gripping the metal rod firmly affixed to the bottom. With a solid yank. Oh, my nose itches. With a solid yank. Where am I? Did I just lose my place even though I'm right? Okay. With a solid yank, it fell free from the pair of clasps, as did the pouch hanging beside it. Okay, you bastards, Kraft growled. He just growled like a dog. Hold on, I'll be right back. I've got to do something real quick. 1 second. Oh, 1 minute. All right, I'm back. Are you still here? Anyone still here? Hello, hello. You didn't disappear on me, did you? Anyways, where am I? Okay, yeah. Let me kick back on. There we go. Let me. There we go. Okay, you bastard. Growled. I read that backwards, but that's still correct. That's still grammatically correct. Kraft growled, pulling down on the lever protruding below the rod. A small hammer popped out of the rear end of the bar, and a metal casing slotted into place from somewhere inside the device. Just somewhere, just anywhere, honestly. Didn't matter, here, there, anywhere, just somewhere. Not that it's criticism. I'm just Jocelyn. Even though I'm RavenWood, so I'm just raving. Never mind. Metal casing in the place. The metal casing slotted into place from somewhere inside the device. I was being nice, letting you live the last time. Ah, my nose. The wyvern at the door backed up, its throat undulating like a worm wriggling into wet earth. After a moment of pause, stop clock. A moment of pause. I keep looking away and then I lose my place. This is what happens when I joke around. Its mouth opened and spewed a noxious pink liquid coated a noxious pink liquid coated the door. Immediately the wood began to warp and warble. Warp and warble. Warble. Warp and warble. Okay, so what a lot of not just teachers, but what people advise me is not just advise me, but like advice classes and whatnot, or whatever. You don't want to have warp and together, but you don't have words that whatever. I'm just gonna drop it. I'm gonna drop this point I was gonna make. You don't put the words that screw things over. Oh, hold on, what's this? Well, anyways, I had a point here, but I'm not. Never mind. Put the book up for you, silly goose. And the inset glass dissolved like cotton candy in the rain. Oh, okay, it's like cotton candy in the rain. Kraft slammed the lever home. But now you owe me a goddamn door. He raised the pipe, aimed, and squeezed the trigger. Fire and smoke and shrapnel exploded from the shotgun's barrel, blasting through the weakened wood and out into the wyvern's face. It reeled back, neck whipped around, sprinkling droplets of blue blood where it stepped. With a casual wave of his hand, Kraft deconstructed the door's corpse, turning the wood into a pile of neatly stacked blocks and a tiny pane of glass. This is basically Minecraft, but magic. I keep saying that, but like it's like Minecraft minus the workbench. The remaining acid fell into the floor, and a concealed dollop of gunk, joining a growing pool of spit that trailed out to where the wyvern reconciled. He stepped over the pastel slime and racked the lever again, sending the spent shell twirling away and locking a fresh one home. He gained aim and fired, scratching it in the neck this time and taking out an entire chunk of reptilian flesh. Sparks danced where the remaining buckshot skidded off the creature's hardened scales. The wyvern hobbled sideways with its neck no longer writhing, writhing nearly as much, racking another shell. Kraft aimed for the second wound and fired. A deafening blast and a sickening squelch, reverberated around the street as the creature's neck was severed clean in as the creature's neck was severed clean in two. The body collapsed into a heap, while the head and remaining neck bounced along the cobble path, wriggling in defiance for only a few more seconds before stilling completely. Ooh, that'll do it, wizard. I'm trying to have it to where it's more on the screen. Yeah, that'll work. Now my fingers are in the way. Oh, my nose is just itchy. I'm sorry. There we go. That's my nose. Kraft opened the lever again and reached into the pouch, pulling 3 replacement shells free to reload the gun. He hadn't really wanted to pull this out, at least not so soon. Ichion had firearms. He learned that much, but they were still clearly in the flintlock era, and he wasn't quite sure what introducing modern firearm technology into circulation would do. So he made a personal promise to keep the weapons to himself and only ever use them in an emergency. On top of that, he settled on one of the oldest repeater designs he could remember from his time watching the History Channel. So he does remember some of his past. Okay. So he does remember some of his past. Well, he only remembers some of some of the knowledge that he gained from his past. So that I can understand. Okay. Oh, I'll be right back. I'm sorry for leaving yet again, but I have got this itch, and so gotta make sure it's gone. You know, got to make sure that the itching goes. It's gone. It's 100% gone, as much as possible. Gone. Although, why the History Channel? I mean, yeah, I remember growing up. Oh, bugger. Oh, give me a second. This one's on me. Anyways, I do remember like on the History Channel. I don't know if they still have the History Channel anymore. But anyways, that excuse me. I do remember on the History Channel, like they would like show off, like, oh, here's a gun from this point in time in history. You could do this and that and blah blah whatnot. They ever. I don't know. I must be misremembering. No, it's on the History Channel. On the History Channel, I was going to say it was on the Discovery Channel, but the Discovery Channel is like animals, boring stuff. So I made a personal promise to keep the weapons to himself, so he never used them. So I only ever use them in emergency. On top of that, he settled on one of the oldest repeater designs he could remember. He could remember his time from watching the History Channel, just in case someone managed to smuggle it out of his hands. So, a lever action it was. Kraft slammed the lever home and kept mental count on the 6 rounds he had in the gun's magazine. He had to pick up those expended shells later. It was I think this is actually if I remember correctly, that this is appropriate use of the semicolon. I think, not certain. Again, I said I think. I'm just not 100% certain. He had to pick up those expended shells later. It was important to reuse materials where you could cut costs. Maybe, technically, I'm going to let it go, because if I ever think semicolons, then, like I did last stream, then I would take longer than I anticipate on thinking about semicolons. I don't know why. Again, I don't know why I like... It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just tell yourself it doesn't matter. Maybe I'm wrong. And like I said in the last Artificer stream, maybe I'm wrong. But semicolons, like they have less purpose nowadays. because nowadays people just like use commas for everything, even for colons. For normal colons, people just use. Well, sometimes no colons are still used appropriately, but semicolons are rarely used because it's an outdated punctuation. From what I remember, what my professor said, it's because that we can. It's because that we've constructed the use of commas much differently nowadays, and right word sentence structures, right? Because of the fact that the sentences are constructed much differently nowadays, right? Semicolons don't have much use anymore, but colons still do. Not so much in sentences. Colons are still used for like presenting something, but semicolons are no longer being used in this scenario, I guess, or this in this form. Anyways, it's just I'm just a bit picky because I do like old-fashioned stuff. I do like old things. I do like the Oxford comma, the comma before the and. Even though like Americans are like we're taught to like, oh, don't do that. That's we're rebelling against the British. So my nose. So in rebelling against the British, we remove commas. I don't know why. Because I guess we desperate to have our own separate cultures, and I don't know. Kraft slammed the lever home and kept the mental to count the round to the guns magazine. Civic one. It was important to reuse the materials where he cut costs. The streets curved up from his shop. Although I think someone's gonna find them. Witness that he had killed the wyvern, right? And pick those shells up themselves and take a look at them themselves. And like, interesting. These are like that could be a plot point, maybe. I feel like him neglecting the shells might be a plot point. I've seen I've seen this somewhere where like, oh, something insignificant is like, oh, shocking shells. I'll pick them up later. And then like someone else like, these are useless to me. However, not entirely. Not entirely useless. So I feel like that's going to be a plot point. That someone that the shotgun shells are like, where are the shells? He's got to like go back. He's going to investigate. Say, where are the shotgun shells? Huh? They're useless. I don't see anybody using them, but someone stole them. And then like someone makes like examines them like, I can make something out of this. Oh gosh, what is this? Notification. One moment. Okay. Anyways. The street curved up from his shop towards the town center where most of the celebrations were used to happen. Dark shapes flickered over it in the early morning sun. Bastards bastards suck at this whole revenge thing, he muttered. The festival! Kraft turned to find Ryan running up beside him, her face oddly calm and considering that they've all oddly calm considering they'd almost been melted. He raised his brow at her. The festival! You claim to have seen these wyverns before. Why am I using the voice? You claim to have. I don't know why. For some reason, I'm just doing it. Whatever. Screw it. Let's do it. The festival. You claim to have seen to have seen these wyverns before, but all dragons like gold and gems, and must be the festival that must have attracted them, not you. She hypothesized. Ah, hypothesized. Someone has actually used the word correctly. Maybe I'm just not seeing it a whole lot. But regardless. She allowed. There. She hypothesized. Kraft started forward up the road with the shotgun's butt dug well into his shoulder. His anger towards the wyverns slowly drained as he considered her words. He sighed. I don't know. Maybe they're here for me. Maybe it's the shiny stuff. Maybe both or neither. But they're tearing up my town, and I'm not sitting down for that. Even as he said it, he could feel a tremble enter his hands. Had that been there before? Doing his best to ignore it, Doing his best to ignore it, he looked to Ryan. You get back to the shop. Go up the stairs and close the door. It's solid steel. It should hold them off if they come up there. I have no plans to hide. I can defend myself just fine, she huffed, picking up pace beside him. Though I have to say, for a craftsman, see, it just rolls. It runs perfectly. Crafty craftsman. Though I have to say, for a craftsman, you demonstrate an aptness at defending yourself. Only word of firearms had ever reached me, and never of such a make. Such a precision and speed is incredible. It occurred to him briefly that he had both the gun and his arm in front of her. That he used both the gun and his his arm in front of her. A representative of the Crafters Guild who had come to investigate him. Unavoidable, said his mind, racing through every other option he had at the time. Gritting his teeth, he resolved to live with the consequence of that snap decision and prayed they wouldn't be too severe. Or you could just take the shotgun and not take the shotgun, maybe craft a specific gun and then just solve the problem from there. Hey, if you want to write about a character that's like unlikable, or not unlikable, that has to do things when not unlikable. He's a mean character. He's a likable character, but he's mean. there you go. All right, anyone come to this house? Well, face my friend. Oh, my nose. Yeah. It's an unfortunate situation of my nose. Ah, my nose. It itches. It itches. Ow, my knee. It's an original, and no, you can't have one, Kraft said, kicking to a small jog. They were nearing the center when another shadow engulfed them. Kraft dove to the ground just as a wyvern swooped to slash him with its claws, the talons narrowly scraping the back of his shirt. Of his shirt. He rolled and brought his gun to bear just in time to fire a shot at its torso. The blast hung to the right. Sorry. The blast hung to the right, meeting the creature's shoulder blade and taking its wing off entirely. Wow. Okay. Off entirely. The wyvern spiraled from the sky, slamming into a nearby rooftop before rolling to the streets in a bloody mess. Struggling to his feet, he wiped his brow. I don't know why I activated my hand to wipe my own. There. In the bloody mess, struggling to his feet, he wiped his brow, a slew of curses rolling off his tongue. That been close, and it took considerably. It took considerably. It took not considerably. It took considerable. It took considerable effort. I'm not. I'm used to. It took. No. Maybe I'm just not having it today. This evening. How many people are viewing this at the moment? Just like to check. Okay, 1 concurrent view, 5 views. Good. As long as there's someone watching, someone being entertained. Dumb. Oh, okay. And it took considerable effort. Okay, yeah, that was much better. Thank me. I did something. I improved myself. To keep his hands steady, closing his eyes. I can't read with my eyes shut. Sorry, I'm not Dr. Seuss or can that. Closing his eyes shut, he sucked in a breath and let it out. Trying to calm himself. I'm used to saying trying to calm himself so he couldn't let shaky hands compromise his ability to aim. But there's a semicolon there. And this is actually one of those semicolons is actually this one is actually I'm not certain. This one I'm not certain is the right way to semicolon. Again, I'm not. There semicolon are suggested, but act in place of a comma. It can. Oh my god, my nose is itchy today. It can act in place of a comma, and yeah, I get. Okay, let me read it again. Trying to calm himself. It's there. Okay, now I know why it's there. It's there in place of a but and or yet or one of the fanboys, right? If you don't know what a fanboy is, I'm not gonna teach you. Yeah, okay, so I know why he put a comma there. Okay, so it's okay. You can actually read this sentence like this: closing his eyes, he sucked in a comma. Closing his eyes, comma. He sucked in a breath and let it out, comma. Trying to calm himself, semicolon. He couldn't let shaky hands. He couldn't let shaky hands compromise his ability to aim. Now, you could also have worded like this: closing his eyes, he sucked in a closing his eyes, comma. He sucked in a breath and let it out, trying to calm himself because he couldn't let shaky hands compromise his ability to aim. Semicolons used in that situation is to replace because or the fanboys. You could have said, trying to calm himself so that he, or not so that. Well, yeah, you could say so that he could, no, and so he couldn't let, shaky hands compromise his ability to aim. My nose is very itchy, and I don't know why. I apologize extremely so. I don't know. It's not a big deal. It's just, it's a lazy way of replacing because. And I don't know why he did that, other than laziness or trying to make do for time, maybe. Like maybe instead of just writing out the word because. Maybe there was a little word limit. Is there a word limit for the publishing company? Did he have to pay for like an extra penny for the word because? I'm not making fun of him. I'm legit asking, but it sounds funny. I know it sounds funny, but it's probably the situation of like, oh no, you'll have to pay an extra like $1 to Patreon to his Patreon, by the way. This is and you can be in the tundra, so you can speak to both me and to Raymond McNeil. But I'm not part of the Patreon deal. You have to go to his Patreon or Fatman Fallings or one of the many other people that are in charge of the Tundra Discord. He's like the head boss, right? But his his go-to friends, right? Dashi Lee, Fatman Falling, the British Ninja. Did I mention Fatman Falling? Fatman Falling, Raymond McNeil. Oh, I almost forgot Raymond McNeil. Okay, Raymond McNeil himself, Dashi Lee. No, Fatman Falling. The Dashi Lee. I almost forgot the play. And the British Ninja. He exists. We don't know. We don't know if he exists or not. I think Tom. Some guy named Tom. I don't know. And then again, we don't know who the British Ninja is. So like that. So whatever. I think Tom is a Patreon guy. I'm not certain about any other than that. If you get into through the Discord through those four, maybe Tom, probably. They should probably considering having more outlets to choose from. I'm just saying. I'm not going to dictate that or anything like that. I'm just saying that's an option. Giving you an idea, throwing an idea out there. Hey, you could also have it to where if you subscribe to Critter or subscribe to Judgmental Critter or Patreon Patreon to Judgmental Critter, go to the Tundra. Patreon to Twilight Guardian and Kaiser. Boom. Hey, just say the Tundra as a whole can make more money. The people who run the Tundra, people who run the Tundra or friends of the people who run the Tundra can make more money, right, through advertising the Tundra. Just like, but I'm not in charge of it. I'm not in charge of it, so I'm not gonna say anything about it. Anyways, and where am I? Let's just continue this reading. Read, whatever you do, whatever. Sorry. Okay. Anyways, the semicolon was a huge distraction, and now this whole Patreon thing is a huge distraction. It's all because of the word because that does not exist here in this sentence. Couldn't let Chickens compromise his ability to aim. He's certainly gotten stronger to his time in Tomaloda. Sorry, but that didn't mean that he was keen on exercise or had much endurance to match. He already felt winded. Well, then maybe exercise after this is all over. A hand fell to his back. Warm skin meeting his. He could feel barely a place where the talons had nicked him and carved a surprisingly large scratch. Ooh. You could have said he could barely feel, and then not have to rework and not have to have that many comments. I'm just saying he could barely feel. I'm guessing it's more like the mindset of craft, but this is not in the first person. This is of the third person, I think. This is the third person, or the omnipresence, or God, whatever. I forget what it's called. I forgot what that was called. Anyways, this is not third person. This is not first person. This is the third person. The narrator. This is the narrator speaking. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking, but ideally, like that would have been better. In my opinion, for that sentence to work, it works fine. I'm just saying it in my mind, gears turn differently, I guess. He could blah, blah, blah. He could barely feel it. That speaks better. I like it better that way. It just sounds better because okay. So again, I would ignore it if it was in his perspective. I don't know why, but for some reason, in my mind, I would have ignored that if it was in his perspective. But it's not in his perspective. It's in the perspective of the narrative saying this. Anyways. Closing his... no, where am A hand fell to his back, warm skin meeting his. He could feel, barely, a place where the talons had nicked him and carved a surprisingly large scratch. Ouch. Just as the pain was starting to seep in, it vanished. A warm tingling from the hand washing it away. Are you all right? Ryan asked, helping him stand. Yeah, you do magic? She smiled. I'm a Marvat cleric. Cleric. Cleric? A cleric? A clerk? Cleric? I don't know. I'm a Marvat. Sorry, I'm a Marvat cleric. Another flag. But this one was different. It didn't feel like it was malicious. To be truthful, none of the flags felt that way. Just that there was more she wasn't elaborating on. Kraft glared at the three remaining shapes circling the skies. Excuse me. It's a little hot in here, and what's funny is that typically it's very cold in here, so that must mean that the weather is finally just making this area of the house very hot. She wasn't elaborating. Kraft glared at the three remaining shapes circling the skies. Little strange for a craftswoman to be a cleric, isn't it? She matched his gaze, keeping an eye up high. See, it's not his perspective, because this entire time, shut up. For Lord Marvatar, Marvatar. Maybe, but there are plenty at the guild from the Church of Cloris Vogue. Vogue? Vogue? Vogue. Like the clothes brand? Excellent. Probably. Whatever. Fine. Moving on. Cloris Vogue. See, we worship here fashion. Don't wear bow ties. Wear neckties instead. That is written in scripture, chapter 23, verse 18. We are currently in the book of Rogues Gallery, a special kind of magazine where you can just be as criminally insane as your neighbor. Or I don't know. I made that up on the fly. Dress like them. Whatever. I don't know. Cloris Vogue. Cloris Vogue, the god of creation? He was still fuzzy on Hakkad's religions, but that add up if he was right. They drew closer to the square, tossed carts, and scattered coins littering the cobblestone. You know, it would be interesting if we had more of a slice of life of what's going on here instead of bits and pieces being told like it's a mystery. Not saying I just don't like, and I like mysteries, but like when I'm in a mood of like, I guess for some reason when I'm like in a mood of adventure, like I like to be told like, oh, it's in an adventure setting, and it's kind of like this world's being told from Craft's perspective, prescription. Yeah, so like 59 pills in this bottle about world building. No, perception. Sorry, it's being described bit by bit from what he experiences, but we don't. It's so disappointing, and I don't mean to be mad. It's not. I don't think it's right. I don't think it's Celtic Phoenix's fault at all. I feel like maybe this is how he wanted to tell the story, was to tell it bit by bit, but focus on what he wanted to focus on. Maybe this was a decision made by the publishing company or something, or maybe he had something. I don't know. I'm trying to make up an excuse of what I don't know. I don't know the information. Maybe he could only, maybe like he, I don't know. Maybe this was what maybe this is what the editor suggested. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what made his decision to have the story fast paced. I guess this doesn't feel like fast paced. I guess because maybe I'm reading it. It's more like a medium flow, because like it's skipping a lot of like mini little adventures, like well, not skipping because like they don't exist, right? um, when I go to bed, right after I get done like reading a part of the book, I make up part of the story. Like, oh, this is what Kraft could have learned while he went to this town, or this is what Kraft could have done while he's in this town. He had little mini adventures while he was traveling, while he was buying and selling stuff from town to town, while he's learning more about the world he was in. But I realized that's the dangerous territory of headcanon. Where you just make up stuff through dreams that don't exist in story at all. and so because like I'm sitting here and I'm reading and I kind of want to be like invested into it. I guess I underestimate how long or how big this story is, right? And it's not a big book. I sure piece together that bit a lot of. I don't want to say skipping because there's nothing there, right? There's nothing confirmed there, but like it feels like there's so much you could do here with the story. Opportunities. There's so much opportunities to be explored here, and I'm just sitting here like, this could happen. You could probably tell us more about the world instead of in these random pockets of the story. I was like, oh, I know about this, the church of this god. And I don't know. I just feel like I'm missing out on something. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not a bad way of like world building or anything like that. It's just not my personal favorite. This is just personal. This is just not the takeaway from anything in the story. It's just It's just something I wish we could like actually explore with the character. Like, oh, okay, we can learn. Okay, here's the god. Okay, so he bumped to this person who explains like, oh, you have not heard of the Lord and Savior, Cloris Vogue. He's the god of creation here. We worship him. He's amazing. He's even beautiful. Have you seen his shoulder and not shoulder? Yes, his shoulder. Have you seen his shoulder? Have you seen his smolder? This is what I was trying to say. Have you seen his chin? Right? Have you seen his hair is golden, luscious hair. It's beautiful. I want to marry him. Oh, if only I could see him daily instead of just praying. Anyway, now, I'm just saying, it's just ignore me. It's a minor complaint. He was still fuzzy on Huckhodge's religions, but that add up if he was right. They drew closer to the square, tossed carts, and scattered coins littering the cobblestone. Pink slime oozed in pools. I can just imagine like the wyvern going to like a bunch of pool parties. They just spew out their acid into the pool. And now it's just pink like in the pool. It's like, and then someone doesn't see the wyvern attack and they jump into the pool of pink acid. It's like, ah, yay! It's pink and it also feels a bit. Is this chlorine? Have we even have we even created chlorine in this universe? I don't know. Who cares? Or this time period? Or on this planet? Why? Why is my flesh? Oh my! There's my bone. There's my. There goes my. Oh, I'm dead. This is pink pools everywhere. Just cannonballs. Ah, my flesh is warping. And then die. Anyways, enough of that. Okay, let me check the steadiness. Everything good? Everything good? Everything. Anyways, luckily there hadn't been but luckily there hadn't been any casualties yet. Well, Daff's someone's leg rested nearby, and a smear of blood led back to a storefront where a collection of people huddled just beyond the window. I see that's a neat place to put a semicolon. But again, you could have just put because. Well, comma, deaths, because. Again, that's why my professor said we get rid of high school thinking. Oh. Because high school, they would teach us if you don't want to use because, use a semicolon. But you know what's funny is that I always use because I wanted a word count. And if I got two, well, anyways. Our school taught us the semicolon. We didn't use the word because. It's because we didn't use the word because. Because. Why not? Anyways. Well, that's why the college professor says to get rid of the high school thinking. Okay. Because of that reason. He could help fix the things that got damaged, but people were out of his league. Even if he could, and that was a rather big if. Well, have you tried? Hey, you're dying over there. Come over here. Let me fix you up. What you need? Oh, a heart. Yeah, just simply just put in a new one. Install it. Easy. You're live again. There. You'll thank me later. Yeah. It's made out of wood, but you'll live. Oh, a new throat. Oh, well, unfortunately, you won't be able to taste the food, but hey, you'll be able to eat it, and it will be able to go down into your stomach. If it digests, good luck. Oh, I can't fix clogging though for the new throat. If it gets stuck, it's stuck. Good luck. Whatever. Anyways. Big if, since he wasn't keen to experiment that far, the moral ramifications for it, or what would do to a person that didn't sit well with him. Best he could probably do were prosthetics after the fact. Either way, you see, you haven't tried craft. There's also the ramifications of trying. Let's say if you were successful, then everybody will then know. Anybody that knows the person, let's say it was an isolated healing, I guess, then that person would know. And you would have to somehow get that person to be quiet about it, either forcefully or kindly. And it's more likely that they'll forget about it forcefully, and you don't want to be forceful so much. Now, if you're kindly, yeah, there's chances that they'll not mention about it. But then again, with their witnesses, etc., God, well, I healed you, but now that you know that I healed you, bye. That'd be pointless. Why bother healing? Maybe you healed them with a spur in the moment and like, oh shoot, I healed you. Damn. Sorry, I gotta kill you now. Can't have any witnesses. You might lie. I don't want to threaten. I don't want main characters to threaten people. Well, good moral people. Good moral main characters to threaten people. Because that's not good. Good natured, sorry. Good natured. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Either way, he's probably do with prosthetics after the fact. Either way, he was powerless to help tend to the wounded until this was all over, and that only pissed him off more than he already was. Well, do you have any spells that can kill these things? He asked, loading another shell into his gun. Sir, I prefer to be creative over brutish. Well then, he said, closing the bolt. Get creative! The wyverns above finally noticed them and began to dive, in a sequence that spoke of some level of coordination. They swoop, they soar, they're coming down to the floor. Or at least I think that's how the song went. Ryan stepped forward and stared the wyverns down. The Kazic words of an arcane tongue slipping from her lips in a heartbeat. The middle wyverns dived, turned sharp, slamming straight into the side of the lead. The two turned into a tangled ball of furry and claws that clashed into a collection of stalls, obscuring Kraft's view of the brawl. Ryan popped forward, dashing off towards the dueling dragons. I'll keep those two fighting each other. Take care of the last one. Easier said than done, Kraft growled, aiming his gun to the clouds. He winced. The sun was still low in the sky, at just the perfect angle to make it too painful to aim. He'd barely gotten a bead on the rear wyvern until the damned thing was right on top of him. Firing at the same time, the buck shot past the creature's bile and vice versa. Kraft screamed as acid singed onto his shoulder. Oh no! Well, he's going to find out if he starts healing himself. And his aim on the wyvern dropping, the creature slammed into him with a single talon, the matching pair having been shredded by buckshot. As revenge, it dug into the burning wound, squeezing at skin that began to peel like wet wallpaper. Ooh. Falling to the ground, the beast tried to lift him with its remaining leg, albeit fruitlessly. Its wings battered the thin. Its wings battered the air around them. The dull thrum they produced slamming into his ears and vibrating his vision. Kraft flailed back against the onslaught, fists and guns slamming fruitlessly into the scales, while the talons sunk deeper. Pain bled away the panic, adrenaline-fueled clarity left in its wake. Unable to reach the shotgun with both hands, he flexed his fingers in a vain attempt to work the lever. The wrought steel slipped under his nails, but with so little leverage, it refused to budge. Biting down on the pain on his shoulder, as best as he could, he slammed at the wyvern with his left arm. The creature didn't budge. In fact, its claws tightened, making Kraft bite into his lip. He should have gone with a double action or semi-automatic. Why did he have to go for a lever action? Then, with the wyvern pulling harder and harder into his arm, he noticed the remains of its other claw floating just above his torso. He couldn't. He couldn't? No. I didn't know. He couldn't? No. Desperate, he lifted his shotgun and he lifted his shotgun and slammed the lever handle over the stump. The wyvern flinched, jerking its talons backwards, with just enough force to open the chamber and expel the empty shell. Pow wow, bow wow, boom, bow, shake it, ding. Boom, 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 boom. Seeing his opponent, Kraft jammed the gun into the talon a second time, closing the slide and loading a fresh shell. Now armed, he angled at it. Sorry, but I cannot read it for some reason. He angled it as best as he could into the thing's chest. A second later, a single pull of the trigger ended its life. Pow! The wyvern collapsed against him, a milky blue blood seeping into his clothes and cooling the acid on his chest. With a groan, he rolled it aside and stood, pulling the claws free from his shoulder. He had just gotten to his feet when he heard a cry from afar. Kraft! Watch out! I can't stop it! Kraft spun to see Ryan waving at him frantically as the last wyvern, now much worse for wear, with its soaping wounds, soared right towards him. Its maw was wide open. Open. No, but it's not how the book has written it. Its maw was open wide. I'm so used to saying the other phrase. Sorry. And his teeth itching for a bite. I don't know why I did that. The chief just I can't. I might grit my teeth. I don't know. Want to do that. Decidedly fed up with the wyverns, he cycled the lever one more time. Shopping stalls formed a runaway. The beast could cruise down for an all-you-can-eat craft buffet. Choke on it, he snarled, lifting the shotgun. He was never the best with one-liners, but if he messed this up, this sentiment was sincere, and it was better to die defiantly while quoting Day of the Dead. And I'm done. Imagine watching Day of the Dead. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think I've seen Day of the Dead. Maybe. Huh. I've seen a handful of zombie movies, but I'm not a fan of them, and I don't watch a whole lot of zombie movies. So or TV shows. So I've seen enough for them to gross me out. Technically speaking, one's enough. And I don't like gore, right? But however, living with my stepfather, right? Living with my stepfather at the time, was watching movies that he wanted to watch. And when there was nothing else to do, if homework was, if I was done with homework, then damn, I might as well watch something. Damn it, homework's over. That's the one thing that's like, I either did my homework at school, at a nearby library, or did my homework at home and just not be with my stepdad at all. just not be in the living room at all. Even if I could help it, not eat supper, just no. Zombie movies were not enjoyable, especially with as the creature came within range. He nudged his gun right into its maw and fired. Its head exploded into shards of black and blue and gray. So this is the inappropriate use of the word "and." I'm just saying. Most people don't abuse the word "and." Well, not abuse. Utilize the word "and" this much, but it's actually acceptable. It's just that a lot of writers like, oh, I don't want to repeat a word. Dang nabbit. And why do you have to be repeated? But it's perfectly fine. The word "and" is the most loved of the conjunction words. Conjunction, junction, what's your function? Yeah. And is like the and but. Okay? And is like the train itself, like the train engine, right? But is like the coal or yeah, it's and is like the well, yeah, I don't it's it's where the conductor sits. Well, the conductor sits in the front of the train, right? That's where the engine is. But like the furnace, no, the coal. I forgot the coal. The coal. It's dropping me. It's leaving me. Whatever. The analogy is over. Whatever. The next part of the train is the coal. The 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 coal deposit. Let's call it the coal deposit. Coal cart? Is that what it is? Anyways, it's the where you put the coal in, and then you put the coal into the furnace to keep the train going. So we can burn on fuel, right? That's the fuel. Right? It can go. It can full steam ahead, right? And then all the other train carts are the other conjunction words. And, oh yeah, there's also because, therefore, however. Anyways, moving on. With a step to the side, he let the body careen past him and into a stall, becoming another stack of meat to clean up in the aftermath of the fight. He racked another shell, but lowered the gun and left his finger off the trigger. Seconds could have passed, minutes could have passed, but he wouldn't have been able to tell. His heart slowly stilled, and all at once Kraft began to feel every ache and pain seep into his body. Now let me check. Oh, that's a nice time we got here. That's a good amount of time we made. And also lost if you take it into perspective, because there's also some of the time that I've utilized here just talking about my problems, the way you haven't seen me in a while. How much more of this chapter do we have? Oh, yay. Okay, so we might be on chapter 3 for a bit. Oh, wow. It's actually a thick chapter. Chapter 3 is a big chapter. So we're going to be on chapter 3 for a bit. But not for the rest of the night. Or not for the rest of the evening. I'll continue as much as I can here. We'll get to a stopping point because I feel like I need to eventually stop soon. But I'll pick this up probably later on. Who knows? Later on, probably this month or maybe the rest of the week. I don't know. Well, I'll figure out something. I'll figure out something. Huh. His heart slowly stilled, and all at once Kraft began to feel every ache and pain seep into his body. Even as his shoulders dared to relax, something roiled in his stomach and began to crawl up his throat. He was barely quick enough to swallow it back down, and the act alone had him gasping for air. The shotgun pulled protectively to his chest. He'd done it. They'd done it. They'd protected the town. At least he hoped they did. Kraft kept his eyes on the sky as Rhine approached, her brows knitted in concern. Is that other one dead? He asked. Oh, is that other one dead? He asked. Rhine nodded. They are surprisingly good at killing each other. Smart enough to track me down, too dumb to live. He laughed. What does that say about me? That smooth, tingling sensation returned as Rhine ran her head over his wounds. A gentle green glow, marked by small motes of floating energy, washed away the blood and scarring and repaired the skin that had been torn from his flesh. Your letter! Kraft looked down to her. Huh? I will deliver it for you. The guild will be decidedly unhappy, but I have a feeling they will manage poorly against you. Intimidating you may be more effort than it's worth. He gave an amused hug. Pragmatism, here and there. I thought I had to charm you to my side of the argument. Ryan poked into one of his steel healing wounds, making him flinch. Forget not who was the one pulling the strings. I know manipulation when I see it. Questionable, since I caught you red-handed, Kraft hummed. Besides, it's not manipulation if the flattery is real, is it? If it's not manipulation if the flattery is real, is it? She eyed him, worry, but ultimately smiled. That would depend on what the flattery is. Patting him on the shoulder, Ryan backed away. Everything should be as it was. I would urge you to write that letter, but there is time while I tend to the other but there's time while I tend to the other wounded of the town, and I think bathing is more pressing. And I think bathing is I think bathing is a more pressing concern for you. Kraft looked down at his ruined wardrobe and frowned. He could repair the clothes, but rotting turtles, spoiled eggs, burning tires, ice burned down his spine. Oh God, the stench! He cried, gripping his nose. Not griping, gripping his nose. I'm going to be smelling this for weeks. That's such a good stopping point. Right there. Well then. A great stopping point. Now we're doing YouTube. Excellent. I like that YouTube's telling me that we're doing excellent. What was this? It's just 2. Okay. Well, I don't know, Kate Morning, if you're still here or not, but that was a good read. Someone's here, obviously, but whoever it is, thank you for sticking. Thank you for staying here until the end. I definitely recommend reading the book yourself. If you want to continue and find out what happened in the book, I definitely recommend reading the book yourself. And getting ahead of where I am. I'm behind from most of the other readers. I'm way behind, probably. Other people are just completely finished with a book. This needs to be put in the freezer or a refrigerator. This is the thought, maybe. But anyways, wow, I've actually enjoyed that. The banana pudding, not the book. And the Capri Sun. The Capri Sun was great, amazing even. I definitely recommend the fruit punch Capri Sun. Anyways, no, the book was actually fun. It was actually entertaining. And we finally got to the part of the book where this happens. The part of the book where this happens. The epic battle on the cover. I wonder if there will ever be alternate covers for this. Wow. Okay. So. There we go. That's that. I actually liked that. That was a good action scene. Let's see. Well, there's nothing else much to do at this point except for to say goodbye. So goodbye, farewell, so long. Hope to see you again. Definitely will be doing another video of him, Estrogen. I'll do the third part, and then I'll get on to whatever's next. More of the Ruby stuff, the Ruby board game. I'll get on to redecorating the shelf over here, redecorating this shelf, moving stuff around. It's just a lot of work to be done. And there's just a lot of stuff to do. Yeah, so that's it. See you soon until the next episode, I believe, I guess, or and to the next live stream. That's the next stream for the Random Fandom will be it will be Jurassic Park. So we'll now cover Jurassic Park. So yeah, we'll get into Jurassic Park because we want to talk about like Jurassic Park and whatnot as a fandom and as a whole, and what current news that we've heard about it. I don't want to talk about. I don't want to make a stream about Deadpool and Deadpool versus Wolverine, or Deadpool and Wolverine, or whatever that film's going to be. It's whatever. I don't want to talk about that film. And we're not going to do a live stream of that film just yet. We want to watch it in theaters, but I'm not certain. I'll think about watching it in theaters. I'm not certain. That's another thing. I don't know if I want to watch it in theaters. I don't know if anything really. or if I can, but that's a lot of things to happen. I might make a stream about it, but I won't make a stream before um, watching it. Well, I might make a stream of not just of that, but of Marvel as a whole. I pretty much would like to do a live stream of Marvel as a whole. um, but so that there's no promises of that particular stream. We might just skip it altogether. I do want to like make it, but as far as like actually committing to it is not a promise, right? But we're definitely doing the Jurassic Park one because like while there isn't like there isn't there is an upcoming film for it, but that's what we will be talking about. But however, we'll also be talking about the previous films and the shows, games, lore, and all the other good stuff about that. I know I mentioned lore multiple times, but there's like you gotta look at it from different angles and whatnot. But I don't want to do, and that's another thing. I don't want to do a Star Wars stream just yet because while oh yeah, the alkalite, whatever. I can't pronounce that word. The alkalite is happening of the now, right? I don't want to do a stream about that because like we're not ready to get back into Star Wars. Really, we don't want the scope of the Star Wars fandom to look at our channel just yet and have a whole bunch of people just flock over to this channel and talk about Star Wars and what. There's a lot of we're not ready for that. We're not ready for Star Wars at the moment because we're but we are ready for Jurassic Park. We're going to talk about the Jurassic saga, the Jurassic Park franchise, and what we like, what we don't like, what we hope to see, and all that other stuff. So we'll eventually get to that. Probably this week. Probably. I'm aiming for this week, but we'll definitely do it sometime soon. The live stream for that. So it'll be roughly around the same time. Hopefully at 8 o'clock, if not roughly at 10 o'clock East Standard Time. East Coast Standard Time as the Georgia. But with that all being said, and getting that all out of the way, eventually. So yeah, we'll eventually get that done, or get to it, and get it done. But anyways, so yeah, that's all the time I have for y'all. And this has been the Artificer. This has been the Rend of Fandom. I'm your host, RavenWood. I'll see you soon. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to watch more. Hit the notification if you don't want to miss anything. Hit the like button if you really like this stream. Hit the dislike button if you really dislike this stream. And let us know. Either or, let us know what type of content you want to talk about or watch, right? Not views. Actually, views do nothing because there's no one. Because I also the address. Please comment down below. I've noticed that on my other channel, like I can get 100 views, but then like one comment. But at least I got a comment from there, from that channel. One comment, and then here's another thing: I could get like 700 views across several sets of episodes or whatever. But however, I appreciate comments. I also appreciate like buttons right? If you like it. So like, yeah, sure, it tells me that like, oh, people are watching this, but whether they like it or not, that doesn't tell me anything. And then people are not too nice to be like, I'm not gonna dislike it, right? But like, I do want you to like it or dislike it. If you dislike this content, dislike it. I encourage you to be mean to me, be awful. Sorry. Or if you actually like this content, hit the like button. It tells me that you like this. It either or tells me I should probably do more of this. I should probably do more of that. I should probably not views. Views kind of do help. Tell me like, oh wow, I did well on this video, but I didn't do well on that video. So I don't know what I should not be. You should be. Yeah. Right. And comment down below. All right. Okay. Comment down below. Tell us what you like about particular fandoms. What do you want us to talk about? Do you want to? Do you? I will. If there's a lot of people talking in the comment section below, I will get out a piece of paper, write down your comments, and I will read them out loud. I will. Even if it's just hello, a bunch. If it's just a whole bunch of hello. Now what I'll do is if it's just a bunch of hello, people saying hello, hi, I'll just put a separate column, and every time I see just a comment, a person that just says hi or hello, I'll put them in that category. And then what I'll do is just like, okay, this person, 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 this person said hello, and this person said hi, and oh, this person, this person, this person, this person, this person said hi, and this person, this person, this person said, die, Shine, Shinduru, or I don't know, or said, yippee, another video, another video, another video, another video. Oh, hey, looks nice, looks nice, looks nice, right? Or did this person said the F word? Well, if you say something mean, I'm not gonna read it. That's an obvious. I'm not gonna read. I'm not gonna read your name out loud. No, no. Or if you say, yeah, if you say something like, oh, here's a link to this site. I'm not gonna read that either. No, I'm not stupid. Anyways, I know there's a whole big speech about comments, but I'm pouring my heart out here. I'm trying to get you, the viewer, to do something. Because I want to know. I want to know what you like about Transformers, Spider-Man, Jurassic Park. That's what we're going to be streaming about next time. The Artificer. What do you like about the Artificer? What do you like about Capri Suns? Comment down below. I will try. No, I will write them down. And if I don't, you can call me out on that. That's another thing. You can call me out on that and say, hey, you didn't do what you said in this previous stream. How dare you? Die. Or don't die, but jokingly. Anyways. So yeah, do that. Okay, so don't forget to comment down below. That's an important thing. Okay, don't forget to hit the like button. That's also an important thing. Or the dislike button. That's also an important thing. Don't forget to watch our content. That's also an important thing. Don't forget to subscribe. That's an important thing. Don't forget to hit the bell notification. That's also an important thing. I feel like I covered. Oh, share. Don't forget to share. Anyways, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.